course, y'all know me, man. I come from mainstream hip hop. I come from secular everything. Uh, Grew up in the church. How many people grew up in the church, right? Or how many people found God like after messing up in college? Me. No. I grew up in the church. I did the typical thing. I did the thing most of us did. Mama and grandma made me go to church. Boom, 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 boom. Right. I led the youth choir before I went through voice changes. Found out that wasn't it. That wasn't a gift, right? Voice changes ruined my singing days. Um, and then you kind of become that teenager. You kind of start finding your own way. You go to college and lose your religion, right? Being transparent this morning. And then I gotta find God to save me. My story, like everybody else, my story is like a lot of people's, right? Once I got in college, I did the college thing, and then I had to be like, wait, wait, God, save me, right? And then after, uh, got into my career and everything, and then really found God for myself, right? So, the topic today is basically where do you start when it's reading the Bible, right? We can listen to good Christian hip hop radio or good worship songs or uh, talk to the man upstairs or big God or uh, y'all know what I'm talking about when they be saying stuff like they be like, man, all glory to the man upstairs and all of that. So people get all real confused. So today I just wanted to talk because I had a question. Somebody was like, yo, Marcus, yo, you really walking out this faith thing, right? And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm trying. And so, and it's actually one of my brothers asked me this, man, where do I start in the Bible? So that's what the title is. Like where that's what the topic is. Where do we start in the Bible? If we could be transparent on here, very transparent. Who is reading their Bible? Like who is reading their Bible? Okay, cool, cool. All right, I grew up in the church, did the college thing, then came back. Joe, me and you are so much alike, bro. I think a lot of us that grew up in the church, when we got a chance to leave the church, when we got a chance to go somewhere else, that's exactly what we. I just wanted to make sure this Bible thing real. So let me go see if the stuff they said I can get in trouble for. Let me just see. Guilty, right? But truth is, matter of fact, let me say this. Let me ask this. So we said by show of hands, by show of comments, Adrian's being honest, just started not long ago. Fact, but you've been knowing God and you've been loving God. A lot of us don't read the Bible. A lot of us don't go to a church, right? By show of hands or by show of comments, Mike is on. Who does not actually go to a church? Right? I'm not even on should you be in church or should you not, but I'm asking. Right? Sometimes people just don't even want to admit, man, look, I don't go to a church. Right? That's cool. Some people say, hey, with technology, I'm Lakewood, I'm transformation. I just look at it on YouTube. That's bedside Baptist. See, Curtis. Curtis, what is bed? I knew somebody was gonna say it. I knew somebody was gonna say bedside Baptist couch. What is that? What is that?
That's not going to church. It's bedside Baptist. It's at the house.
Oh, you at the house like boom. All right. Cool. I ain't knocking you for that. Here's the thing about bedside. Hold on. About not going to church. When you don't go to when you actually don't go to a church, the thing you are actually missing is the fellowship part, right? The networking part, the building part, right? Um, especially during the pandemic, as the one when it really boomed. I started watching. Well, I'm different. I started going on Facebook Live and just typing in the word church, and that was my chance of seeing other churches, how they do church all over the nation. Like you say, you from Pittsburgh. I found a church in Pittsburgh. I found a church in Virginia. I found Transformation Church. I checked out Stephen Furtick. I checked out all of the big names, TD Jakes, right? Sometimes I wear a red hat with a C on it. I found I can't even think of the name of that church, but they ended up sending me that hat, right? They were in Phoenix. Um, just to see. And it was good networking. Plus, it helped my bookings, by the way. But watching church online was cool, except for you getting basically two things when you watch church online. You're getting two things. You're getting, if they show their praise and worship, you're getting that. And then you're getting straight to the pastor, right? You know nothing about the church. You don't know about the children's service. You don't know about the parking lot ministry. You don't know about nothing but worship and word, right? So when you don't have a church home or you're not actually going to a church, you miss the fellowship part of it, right? And here's one good thing about the fellowship part of it. When it come down to the church and you got people that's coming from all sides of town, it's almost like this Zoom. Well, I ain't gonna say it. It's just like this Zoom, right? Where we got different people from different areas, everybody do something different. Now you got a circle of people you can actually tap into that y'all automatically, instantly have something in common. That's the fellowship part of church. Joel, am I missing anything about why we need to be in a church? And then if you definitely bedside Baptist, I ain't knocking it. I know we ain't paying no tithes. Some people might find the church just to pay some tithes too, or some offering, right? But I look at our tithes and offering. That's the tough part. I'm not gonna even start. I might even talk about that on one day, about the giving part of church. Matter of fact, let me just jump in it a little bit. The giving part of church is really, really hard because some people are more worried about what they're giving to or what their money is going to than what's the purpose of giving their money, right? And so if I could be very surface about like the giving part of it, if you think about it, all of us, they got a job. Everybody got a job, right? We didn't ask God to bless us with some finances, right? Yes, yes, right? We ask God, man, God, I need this job. I got to pay these bills. I need these jobs. I got to feed these kids. God, I need resources. And God will say, this is being very surface. All right, I'm gonna bless you, my girl. I'm gonna bless you, my boy. I'm gonna give you this job. Thank you, Joel. I'll read it in a second. Matter of fact, Joel, you can turn on your mic, you can read it because I'm tired. My eyes still swimming right now. God will say, here, I'll bless you, man, but I just want 10% for hooking you up. Then people be like, hold on, Jack, it's my money, right? Or I ain't giving to that. God might say, I'm being surface now. God might say, I ain't blessing you. I don't know what you finna do with this job money that I'm finna give you. Then you'll be like, right? So it's well, that's why they say when it's time to give, it's given from your heart. It's given because somebody gave, not somebody, he gave to you, right? Joel, I'm gonna try to read that. The other thing besides bedside fellowship is the connection of the spirit. Where two or more are gathered, that's Bible. Where two or more are gathered, there he will be in the midst. That's true. That's church, right? So this is church, right? Kinda. If y'all say this church, that means I'm really a preacher. No, okay, no. But that whole giving thing is, I think it's really deep because you have to really have a heart check when you actually giving and giving the amount that you are actually giving. That's a whole other story. Now, when it comes to when people say what the money is going to, listen, if your pastor pull up in a Range Rover, that ain't your money. It ain't just your money. Like, don't think my money pays for his Range Rover. That's something totally different, right? But just think about the business of church, right? I said this. I said this a few days ago. I'm gonna get into this Bible in a second. But some of us come on here from different areas, right? Alicia, I ain't speak to you this morning. What's up, girl? Um, we come on here for our inspiration, motivation, some form of a word, some form of a gathering. But the day I say, hey, this joint is $1.99, the day I get on and say this joint is $1 a day, we ain't getting the people. People don't want to give to nothing. People want to take. People want to receive. People don't want to give, right? So we talk about the business of church. Y'all ever, any business owners on here, y'all ever thought had to go to the Office Depot and buy a chair? I just built podcast studios, man. The chairs that I got in there are a minimum of $115 a chair, a minimum, right? Right? Because the last thing you want is somebody sitting in something uncomfortable. That's the last thing you want, right? Or who in Texas right now? Curtis in Texas, Joel in Texas. Step outside. Let the power go out, DD. Right? We looking at least. I was talking to my dad, which is getting us back to this. Yo, we've been on 100 plus every day for like the last 15 days. Somebody got to pay the light bill to keep us cool up in there, right? Right. Those microphones, I just built these podcast studios. Yo, these microphones, them camera. Matter of fact, my bedside Baptist, when you watching on a good camera, right? My cameras in my studios was $1,600 a piece, and that's on the cheap end, right? You want to hear something? Because if I gave y'all a bad product, y'all gone. But you get what you pay for, right? Y'all ever been to a church or tuned into a church and it's just, let me be honest, trash? I'm out. Well, you ain't helping me get the good stuff. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, Bible. I could do I'm about to sound like a preacher. I could do a whole series on that. Anyways, Bible. So I was talking to my brother. He was like, yo, where do I start in the Bible? Where do I start in the Bible? In the comments, or Mike is on, what I got to say this first. The Bible got a bunch of different translations. And if you don't read the Bible and you pick up the wrong translation, good luck. I'll see you on the other side, right? Anybody remember the first time they read the King James Version? A lot of people don't even know there are new versions to the Bible, right? When y'all read the King James Version, honest opinion, what did y'all think? Straight up, be honest. Anybody?
To be honest, I didn't really understand it. I mean, I read the King James version for years, and it was just hard to take it all in. So then I switched over to the NLT, and I got a better understanding of the word. So
Why'd you pick NLT? Just ask.
it was just easier to understand what the Lord was saying.
What does that stand for? New Living Translation, right? NLT is New Living Translation. Okay, cool. Perfect. Joe said in the comments, it's hard to read in the beginning, but I got used to it. I used the new KJV, New King James Version. True. Here's the thing. Somebody might catch the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna be on fire. I'm about to get in my word today, and you go and you grab the Bible and you don't even know what NLT and NKJV and NIT is, or you just know King James, and you buy that Bible and you get home tonight and you sit down and you say, all right, Lord, I'm here, I'm yours, I'm on fire, let's go. And you open it and it just happened, just like she said. That joint like reading a language you ain't never seen. You gonna be there maybe, especially if you're fresh out of jail and you're finna start from Genesis and go to Revelation. I'm just gonna start in Genesis. In the beginning, that's the first thing. In the beginning, what's the word, right?
There was light.
Why are there different colors? What do you mean, Curtis? I ain't know different colors.
So there's different colors of different verses have different colors.
Oh, okay, cool. Joel, yeah. I'm glad you're here. See, y'all talking to me like I'm your pastor. Hey, Marcus don't know. I started yesterday, right? No, I'm just kidding. So I'll say this. King James Version finna have the thee, thou, though word. Like it's about to talk in a language that you ain't never. Most people, let's say you start in Genesis, you might get through Genesis because you heard some of the stories. You might not even understand some of the wording, but you heard, Adam and Eve, you heard some of the stories. So most people will start and get through Genesis But by the time they get to, what is it, Leviticus? What's that number? Third book? Don't quote me, y'all. So do not quote me. I think that's the third one, right? By the time you get to that, all right, let me see who playing tonight. Let's see what happened on the news. Let's check out the latest movie on Netflix because I'm gone. True story, right? So where do we start? I think the first place we start when it comes to the Bible, and then thank you, Joe. If you got red letter, that's Jesus talking. I knew that part, right? When you see in the Bible, it's written in red, that's Jesus talking, right? Which is pretty much only in the New Testament, I think. Anyway, we'll get to that. Joe, back me on that. Joe, now you see why I was gonna call you this morning to ask you to lead, because Joe the pastor for real. I'm a bedside Baptist pastor, Curtis. anyways, man, I might go ahead and get a website to call that joint bedside, because everybody know what that is. Be like, yo, I'm the pastor for that. Anyway, bedside Baptist pastor don't know the books of the Bible. He don't know no worship songs. He don't know. I just two or more gathered. Nah. All right. But I was gonna let me get back to my devotion this morning. My brother asked me about where do we start. So that was the first thing. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm probably gonna name this Zoom Bedside Baptist. Do not steal that. I promise. Anyway, man, my church would be so big. I know I'm on the 10. My church would be so big, y'all. That's gonna be funny. Watch me do it. See what this Zoom did? Y'all just started a $1 billion empire because I don't know my word. Ain't God good? All right. Different translations. Joel said he reads the NKJV. We got the NLT, right? You have what's the different versions? You got NIV, which is what I usually read. You got the English Standard Version, right? And then some people say, well, how do we know the Bible true if it's been translated, right? It's just kind of big because language changes, right? Y'all remember when we was too legit to quit, then we was crunk, then we was turned, then we was lit, then it's all the same thing, just different translation. Boom. See what Bedside Baptist gets you? See how I break it down at Bedside Baptist Church? Y'all got me. I'm tired. This is why I shouldn't even be leading today, right? So you got this. I can't quit laughing at myself. Hey, so we got the different versions of the Bible. Second, this is wild. Second, you got the Old Testament versus the New Testament. Anybody know the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament? Actually, when you open the Bible, majority of the Bible is the Old Testament, right? Anybody know, Joel? I know I'm gonna call on you. Can you break down the Old Testament? Because I'll tell them the New Testament is pretty much after Jesus arrived. Basically, I'm trying to bedside Baptist preacher here, right? Joel, Old Testament, if you will, sir. If I was to break that down, Old Testament is everything before Jesus came, right? Everything before Jesus came. So and that's what I told my brother, if you're about to start reading the Bible, right? If you're about to start reading the Bible, which most people are gonna say, I'm gonna start in Genesis, right? I would actually say, nah, bro, you ain't never read the Bible. You on fire right now. Start in the New Testament, right? Find the New Testament. And the first 4 books of the New Testament are the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
Yeah.
Curtis,
Hey,
and Joe.
hey, Marcus.
Go for it.
Yeah, you're right, man. I would tell people that are just reading the Bible for the first time to start in the Gospels, and then go back to the Old Testament, because when you start with the Gospel, you're reading about Jesus and what Jesus comes to do, and then you go back to the Old Testament, you'll see why he had to come do what he had to do. So,
Right.
the Old Testament pretty much sets up the reason why Jesus had to come. So that's kind of the way I say it. But you're right. Old Testament is before Christ. The gospel is Christ here. Acts through the rest of the to Revelations is the pointing back to Jesus, Jesus, after Jesus had, died, buried, rose again, and ascended into heaven. So
Love it. Love it. See? Why you always get you a good preacher friend. Get you a good preacher friend. Or listen to me. Nah,
man, you cracking me up with this bedside Baptist though.
Curtis started that, bro. Curtis started that. Listen. All right, so in the Gospels, y'all ever notice when you hear a preacher talk, he can pull from one of the Gospels and then flip over to, he can pull from Matthew and flip over to Luke, and it's basically saying the same thing in a different way. The Gospels are eyewitness accounts, right? Right. So like if bedside Baptist right here, we watching the street fight we watching something happen on the street, right? And you on one side of the street, I'm on the other side, and then we go tell the story. It's gonna be from start from the beginning. See, Inez came in here late, then said start from the beginning. Cool, Inez. Great. Tell me why you're gonna start from the beginning, Inez, and I'll go back to these Gospels. If you say in the beginning was the word, Inez, y'all, we love Inez. Inez got a beautiful soul. I'm gonna say it like that. It set the story up. In the beginning, set the story up. Yeah, that's true. I get it. That's true. I can't argue with you on that. But the Gospels are eyewitness accounts, right? And so if most, and I was Googling this before we got on here, most people, if you're going to start with the Gospels, I would say, and I saw it on Google, so maybe Google says it also, start with John. Start with John, right? Now, my favorite book in the Bible is Matthew. Man, I got Matthew tatted, like, anyway. But most people say start with the gospel, start with John, and then work your way around. And like Joe said, the book of Acts, after you do the Gospels, book of Acts, then Romans, and then I would say kind of go back to Genesis now, because that would make more sense. Now you kind of find out the story is really set up. The Old Testament will mess people up. Facts. Now listen, when people say that, they're not hating on the Old Testament. The Old Testament got like a lot of prophets. It's got a lot of stuff in. Matter of fact, bedside Baptist, if we're talking about a Netflix series, right? And I say, yo, what episode are y'all on? And what's the name of this show? What's the name with the show with the actor, with the boy with the accent? He a gangster. Black dude. He a drug dealer. I built this brick by brick. What's the name of that show? Snowfall. Snowfall.
Is it Power?
Even Power. I watch Power, right? Snowfall is the newest one, right? Romans is Joe's favorite book, right? But like, y'all watch Snowfall or Power, right? If I just told you I'm on book Power book 3, people would be like, well, if I told you I'm about to start watching it and I try to pick it up in Power book 3, you would be like, nope. You're gonna have to go back and find out how we got here, right? That's the Old Testament. Like, if you tried to pick up the Old Testament and just read it, you would be so confused. That's why he said Old Testament would mess people up, because there's so much going on. So that's why we say start in the New Testament with the Gospels, because they're giving eyewitness accounts of stuff, right? But yeah, so if you start with that Old Testament and then you read the King James Version, I'd like to see where you at in 3-4 days, right? Also, okay, so flipping on down, and making it practical, y'all. I said try to read. If we're gonna start in the New Testament, try to read at least 5 to 6 pages a day. Find you a quiet time, And I personally, please let me know if you agree to disagree. Read it in the morning when your brain fresh and you're not worried about, the rent, light bill, kids, hubby, wifey getting on your nerves, job, people emailing you, right? Read 5 or 6 pages a day, right? I wouldn't even say, man, if you got a lot of time, go all in. I'm just gonna say read a couple chapters a day because that's what's gonna make you want to come back for more, right? I wouldn't even read that joint till I got tired if I was even all in, right? I wrote down here, read first thing in the morning. My devotions are over there. Usually I have my devotions. Y'all know I got my Bible and I got like 3-4 devotions. Then I'm trying to study this. So it's definitely working that way for me. Also, I said, use your Google. My bedside Baptist family, we can use technology. Get the Bible commentary, right? Bible commentary. On the radio, on Engine, I do what they call a daily dose. And I basically read different scriptures every day on the air. And for me, not knowing the Bible like front to back, I use the commentary and I'll actually pull up the meaning of a lot of those scriptures, right? So I would say, as you're reading, when you don't understand, for real, get some of that commentary and let it break it down to you, right? Let it break it down. Now, you're at the mercy of whatever you're reading, right? You're at the mercy of that, which is why I say my next point on here, yo, and don't do like our grandparents did, right? But I say ask questions, have conversations about certain things in the Bible, and ask in a humble way, right? Because the first time, I mean, y'all done all seen it. Some of y'all probably been deep in it. People arguing over the Bible. Well, the book of it, and nothing, like you having arguments over your knowledge on it, right? So I would always say ask questions from multiple people, right? That way you can get your accounts together. And then it'll start making more sense to you to where you can actually teach it, right? Somebody do me a favor, because this is where I was running out of time, man. Because I'm like Joel, I got up 10 minutes before this live, I think. Proverbs, look at me reading my Bible. Proverbs 18, look at me, boy. Proverbs, somebody pull up Proverbs 18 and 24. Proverbs is God. Is it God or is it good? Proverbs 18:24. Somebody put that in the joint. I hope I'm right on that. But going back to Curtis's comment, I was gonna say this. This is what I thought you was talking about, Curtis. Use highlighters or color pencils when you got your Bible. Y'all ever seen Grandma Bible, Mama Bible, and that joint look marked all the way up? Y'all know why? Right? Use colors in that joint to break down certain things, right? Right? Use a yellow highlighter. Matter of fact, that's how I remember scripture, highlighting that joint. That's the easiest way for me to remember scripture. Highlight that mug, right? And then change the color of the highlight, right? If something talking about money, highlight it in green. And so when you flip to it, soon as you hit that page, that one is about money. This one is about sin. This one, use different colors for it, right? So if you want to remember powerful scriptures, that joint highlighted in yellow. Bam, right? And then I got other one. I'm gonna use this one. Highlight in black when God on my street, and I don't want to hear it. Black it out. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's when the ones you be like, no. But Proverbs 18:24, KJV. He's gonna give me the King James. I thought you read the NKJV. See, a man that hath, I'm gone. I'm out of that. Can somebody give me another translation? Half? I thought that was a typo. I don't know, right? Stick it. We'll put stick it in there. I had no clue. Anybody give me a new translation of that joint, please, before I get out of here. See what I mean? Right there. Boy gave me King James. I don't even want to read it. A man that hath friends must.
Here. I got you, bro. I got you. Hold on.
Wait, you said it must shoot himself. I ain't got to. Now I got to go. I got to spend 10 minutes looking up words.
A man that has friends must show himself friendly. And there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Too legit to quit. We crunk right now. Raise the roof. Right? I love it. I love it. But hey, that's a good example right there. See, if today my first day on here and I told you a man that hath friends, I would be like, yo, they got a lot of typos on the Zoom this morning, right? Shoot himself, right? But or stick it. I love it. But that goes back to my number 5, to be honest, y'all. Ask questions. Ask questions. A man who hath friends shoot himself. Look at me, boy. I'm about to. Who hath, yeah, that. All right. So use highlighters. So today's topic we got. Today's topic that we got 5 minutes of is basically where to start in the Bible, how to read the Bible, and make it make sense. Bible, when I tell y'all, sometimes you can get in that Bible and that joint will really be, man, it really be in your life. Like it's the perfect blueprint, map, place of source, resource when you really read that mug. I know y'all hear people say that, but when they said it for real, like you can relate some real stuff to your life because the Bible is the same. Now, I'm gonna say this, and this would be the only little deep part about it. People might say the Bible has been altered, X, Y, and Z. My answer is cool. This is not my Bible right now. It's over there. But if this the one we gonna read with the stuff in it, this the one. With your alterations in it. If this the one, this the one. That's how I look at it. So that just debunks my whole, it's been translated X, Y, and Z. But use it for your blueprint. All right, mic open, thoughts, questions. We got 3 minutes. I'm sorry if I was goofing off the whole time. I really was up till 1:30 this morning. And only reason I even had this topic is because my brother asked me a question about the Bible. And I wanted to be like, man, y'all better attend Bedside Baptist. You get somewhat of an answer. You leave Bedside Baptist, you feel somewhat okay. Just enough to keep you coming back tomorrow. My son will debate you on the Old Testament. See? I'll see if he'll come on tomorrow. He can come on tomorrow. We ain't gonna be talking about the Old Testament. But cool. I hope he come on. Look at you. You was up to 1:30 watching Netflix. What you watch, Inez? A man who hath Netflix on late at night shall be confused in the daylight. Joe Pickett, I ain't never heard of him. You need to be your word out there.
Oh, I was gonna say this, Marcus. Can you hear me?
You on?
Hello?
Yep, you good.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say this about part of the reason why the Bible tells us to fellowship, to assembly, is because it's for things like this, because iron sharpens iron. And so when you are able to get together and you get together with other Christians that have more experience or know a little more spiritually or have been around more or more mature, they're able to help answer those questions for you. You can't do that at home. It's hard to do that when you're at home. It's just you and by yourself, and you just watching it on TV. You know, you get around other folks and you find out from other folks the things that you don't know. You know, and then plus, just the praying together. There's more power in prayer when you're praying together, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's important to get together. But I like this Bedside Baptist thing, man.
Hey,
you can change names to Bedside Baptist.
I'm about to. That's what. Listen, do not steal it. That's what it's about to be. I'm about to say it on the air today. Bedside Baptist, come on in. Hey, listen, y'all. Joe is leading us on Friday because, like I said, I'm like my schedule's so jacked up, and so and I believe in Joe, and his ATM Ministries. What does it stand for, Joe?
Anointed Talk Ministries.
Fire. He put on Facebook. So I'm gonna let him lead this joint, and then hopefully y'all can follow his Facebook page. We got less than a minute, Joel. I don't know if you can put your Facebook page on there. They can go on and catch up, but he'll be doing it Friday. And so we'll have another conversation tomorrow. I know I done killed y'all time. We usually network right here, but I guess we'll do it tomorrow. So set an alert on your phone. 7:30. We get a popping. Genesis, we still praying for you, sis. We'll go through it. It's gonna hang us up. Yeah. There go Inez. I see you, girl. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
I'm out.